Hi, I'm Katie. I'm a volunteer here at Camp Bigvia, and I'll be reading Fantastic Mr. Fox Chapter 15, Bean Sucre Cider Cellar. Mr. Fox examined the wall carefully. He saw that the cement between the brick was old and crumbly, so he loosened a brick without much trouble, and he pulled it away. Suddenly, out from the hole where the brick had been, there popped a small, sharp base with whiskers. "Go away!" it snapped. "You can come here. It's private." "Good Lord," said Mr. Bragger. "It's a rat!" "You saucy beast," said Mr. Fox. "I should have guessed we'd find you down here somewhere." "Go away!" shrieked the rat. "Go on. Beat it. This is my private pitch." "Shut up," said Mr. Fox. "I will not shut up," shrieked the rat. "This is my place. I got here first." Mr. Fox gave a brilliant smile, flashing his white teeth. "My dear rat," said softly, "I am a hungry fellow. If you don't hop it quickly, I should eat you in one gulp." That did it. Rat opened back fast out of his sight. Mr. Fox laughed and began pulling more bricks out of the wall. When he made a biggish hole, he kept through it. Bragger and the smallest fox followed him in. They found themselves in a vast, damp, gloomy cellar. "This is it?" cried Mr. Fox. "This is what?" said Bragger. "The place is empty." "Where are the turkeys?" asked the smallest fox, staring into the gloom. "I thought that Bean was a turkey man." "He's a turkey man," said Mr. Fox. "But we're not after a turkey now. We got plenty of food." "Then what do we need, Dad?" "They take a good look around," said Mr. Fox. "Don't you see anything that interests you?" Bragger and the smallest fox peered into the half-darkness. As their eyes became accustomed to the gloom, they began to see what it looked a whole lot big glass jar standing upon the shelf around the walls. They went closer, and they were jars. There were hundreds of them, upon each one written the word cider. The smallest fox leaped into the air. "Oh, Dad," he cried out, "look what we found! It's cider!" "Exactly," said Mr. Fox. "Tremendous!" shouted Bragger. "Being the Sucre Cider Cellar," said Mr. Fox. "But go carefully, my dear. Don't make a noise. This cellar is right underneath the farmhouse itself." "Cider," said Bragger. "Especially a good for a badger. Take it as medicine. One large glass 3 times a day, with meals, and another at bedtime. It'll make the feast into a banquet," said Mr. Fox. While they were talking, the smallest fox had sneaked a jar off the shelf and had taken a gulp. "Whoa!" he gasped. "You must understand this was not an ordinary wheezy-feezy cider one buys in a store. It was the real stuff, home-brew fairy liquor that burned in your throat and boiled in your stomach." "Ah!" gasped the smallest fox. "This is some cider." "That's quite enough of that," said Mr. Fox, grabbing the jar and putting it into his own lips. He took a tremendous gulp. "It is miraculous," he whispered, fighting for the breath. "It is fabulous. It's beautiful." "It's my turn," said Bragger, taking the jar and tilting his head well back. The cider gulped and bubbled down his throat. It's like melted gold," he gasped. "Oh, Foxy, It's like drinking sunbeams and rainbows. You're poaching? Shrieked Rat. Put that down at once. There will be none left for me. Rat was perched upon the highest shelf with the cellar, peering out from behind the huge jar. There was a small rubber tube inserted in the neck of the jar, and the rat was using this tube to suck out the cider. You're drunk, said Mr. Fox. Mind your own business, shrieked the rat. And your great clumsy buttes come messing about in here will be all caught. Get out and leave me to sip my cider in peace. At that moment, they heard a woman's voice calling out in the house above them. Hurry up! Get that cider, Mabel! The voice called. You know Mr. Beam doesn't like to be kept waiting, especially when we've been out all night in a tent. The animals froze. They stayed absolutely still. The ears pricked, their bodies tense. Then they heard the sound of a door being opened. The door was at the top of the flagstone stepping leading down from the house to the cellar. And now someone was staring to come down those steps. This is the end of chapter 15. I hope you liked it. Bye.